What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got a short video for you today. I'm going to show you guys how to fillet a pike. Something that's really intimidating to a lot of people because they've got so many bones, but if you figure out how to fillet them the correct way, they're really delicious, taste really good, and they're just an awesome fish. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do, this is what's different and what throws a lot of people off. So as opposed to a salmon or trout where you're going to fillet it on its side, with the pike you actually want to set it on its stomach. And you don't want to gut the fish because the way that we're going to fillet this, if you gut it, the sides are going to be really loose and floppy and it's going to fall over and you're not going to be able to set it up like this. So the first cut that we're going to make is going to be right behind the gill plates, going straight down, right behind the head. Now once you come down from the top of the head, you're going to hit a bone, and that's going to be the spine. So once you feel that spine, you're going to want to turn that knife and start working your way down, following that spine. And you can flip that fillet up, and you can see inside of here that you're going to have that spine, and then you're going to see these rows of bones on either side. And those are the bones that we're trying to avoid getting in the fillet. Just work your way down that spine, and it helps on a bigger fish like this if you keep working your hand following the knife after you get a couple inches, and just apply pressure down and make sure that you're just following that spine all the way down the back of the fish. And then right before you get to the dorsal fin, you're going to come up, and that way you're going to avoid the bones of the dorsal fin here. Go ahead and take that off, and that's going to be your first fillet. This is the biggest and the meatiest section of the fish, and that's probably where you're going to get most of that flesh from. Once you have that back strap off, you can see here, these lines of bones on either side of the spine are what I was talking about, and these are the problem that most people have with this fish, because if you try to fillet it like a traditional salmon or a trout, you're going to have major issues and you're going to have really bony fillets. So the way to find these is if you just run your finger down them, it'll actually pull all those bones up to where you can see them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start right behind the gill plate here, same as we did before, but this time we're going to make a cut down the side of the fish from the top all the way to the bottom. And then you're going to do the same thing back here, lining up with that cut on the back fillet. Back up onto its belly, and then what we're going to do is we're going to find that line of bones that we were talking about, and we're going to start on the outside of the bones, just making shallow cuts from that front cut all the way to that back cut. And once you have that line kind of cut out, you know where those bones are, you can go ahead and just start working your way down, working towards the belly of the fish. So once you start getting down towards the belly of the fish, you're actually going to break through into the gut cavity, and you'll see that flesh start to actually separate, and the only thing holding it is going to be the skin on the outside of the fish. So just keep working that entire length all the way down the side until it's open into that gut cavity. And this is why you don't want to gut the fish to begin with, because you can see that if you were to gut the fish, you just couldn't have it sitting up like this, and this side would be flopping all over the place, and it would just make this really, really difficult. So once you've got that down into the gut cavity, you can see here the guts are inside, and then we have this flap of skin, and then we have the actual fillet that we're taking off. So just work down on the outside of those bones, making sure not to cut into the gut cavity, and just take that fillet all the way down to that cut you made on the tail, just like that. And then once you break it all the way off, you can flap it open, and then we're just going to cut from the front all the way to the back of the fillet and separate it from the fish. Just like that. You can see that there's no bones on that fillet. It's just perfect, nice, white, flaky flesh. Now we're going to flip it over and do the other side, but before we do that, there is one more fillet that we can get off this side, and we're going to end up with 5 fillets total when we're done with this. So this is more like a salmon or a trout in the sense that you can have the fish on its side like this, and you're just gonna find that spine and just start working your way back towards the tail and just kind of drag that knife across that spine, making sure not to cut down into it. Just stay right on the outside of those Y bones and go all the way back to the tail. And what you're gonna end up with are those nice fleshy tail fillets. And there's the other side of that fish. That second side usually doesn't turn out as pretty just because by this point the fish is so floppy and it's just hard to get a good grip on it, but you get the idea, and that's a pretty good amount of meat. That's pretty much all there is to it. You can see there's very little meat left on that fish. We got 5 nice thick meaty fillets, and the guts are all still intact, and now this entire carcass can go right back in the lake. Alright guys, and that's pretty much it. We end up with 5 really good fillets, just delicious white flaky meat, one of the best freshwater fish in my opinion, and they're super easy to fillet once you figure it out. They're really not that difficult, and it's definitely worth learning. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.